Coming up on National Focus, Cabinet meets with overseas-based nationals and returnees. And Prime Minister Skerritt praises the work of the Dominica Association of St. Thomas. Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine.
And I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for joining us.
In the headlines, Honorable Alvin Bernard discusses the National Export Strategy.
And a National Physical Development Plan and Land Use Policy is currently being developed.
Stay with us as we bring you details of these stories and more when National Focus returns.
Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS Channel 7, Channel 7, Channel 7, Channel 7, Channel 7, Channel 7.
Welcome back. Topping the headlines, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt and members of his cabinet on Wednesday met with overseas-based nationals and returnees at the conference room at Crazy Coconuts. The activity, which has become an annual feature during the independence celebrations, provided an opportunity for the visitors to be updated on Dominica's development. The event was facilitated through the Regional Integration and Diaspora Unit of the Ministry of Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, in addressing the overseas-based nationals, thanked them for responding to his call for dialogue in Dominica's continued development.
So we are very happy to have you here in Dominica, and I want to thank you for once again accepting our invitation to meet with you and to fellowship and to share with you where we are as a nation and what role you can play, notwithstanding the fact that you do not live in Dominica's development. And I believe that your contribution thus far is well appreciated, and we look forward to not only continued investments, but even more investments.
Wednesday's forum also exposed the overseas nationals to a number of government and private sector entities such as the National Bank of Dominica, the National Cooperative Credit Union, the Immigration and Customs Departments, Discover Dominica and Invest Dominica authorities, and the Dominica Social Security. Minister for Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, Dr. Colin McIntyre, on Wednesday encouraged potential Dominican investors visiting Dominica for this year's independence celebrations to use the services offered by the Invest Dominica Authority, IDA. Representatives of the IDA were present at the Special Cabinet Diaspora activity.
As the Minister responsible for the Invest Dominica Authority, I would like to encourage those of you who are desirous of investing in Dominica to utilize the services of the IDA. The dedicated staff of the IDA is ready and willing and able to assist you in realizing your business goals. Over the years, many Dominicans who reside for extended periods overseas have returned to start businesses and have provided employment, produced unique products, excuse me, and contributed towards our national development. We can certainly use more of this type of investment and look forward to discussing potential investment opportunities with you.
Minister McIntyre invited the Dominican visitors to view the several booths at Wednesday's forum, which featured a wide array of Dominican products and services. The Trade Minister is hoping that this feature will help to stimulate exports of Dominican products to overseas territories.
Also, you may have noticed the various booths featuring nostalgic Dominican products being displayed at our venue today. Please visit the booths, sample the products, and perhaps even discuss possible ways you could do business with the companies represented. We know you may discover a business, who knows, you may discover a business opportunity where you can import products from the nature aisle wherever you currently reside. You may want to participate in the Export Dominica initiative as articulated in the Prime Minister's budget address this year. The opportunities are available, and I'm confident in the ability of our Dominican businesses to produce goods and services of the highest quality.
Wednesday's meeting with overseas-based Dominicans was held under the theme Partnering for Further Progress and Development.
Pearl, you know, I think Dominicans should look at that initiative as very forward-thinking, because it's not often that you hear of leaders bringing together Dominicans from overseas to come together to talk about moving the country forward. It's very progressive, I think.
I think so too. Not only is it progressive, but no other country, well, I haven't heard of any other country doing this. And I think that it also shows that government recognizes what needs to be done in order to make our small island state advance, you know. And I know of some other associations in the country. In London, for instance, the Dominica UK Association, JUCA, they also I get emails from them all the time about the things that they are doing to help promote Dominica in the United Kingdom.
You know, I think that move makes Dominicans overseas feel part of the entire process, because not because you live overseas, you're no longer Dominican. You're still
That's
Dominican.
right.
You still get to have a say in activities. Also, I'm thinking the objective of that meeting, well, one of the objectives is to discuss exporting Dominican products overseas. And I think that is a huge move, because nothing feels better than going to another country and seeing your very own product from home. Like overseas, I saw blue soap and I was so excited just seeing the blue soap from Dominica.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, everyone is excited when they see their country's products, you know. When I shop in London and buy fruits and you have banana on fair trade from Dominica, it's like, oh my God, I have to get this, because you want to support your country. So, you know, government is doing a great thing here.
I think props to the government for that move. 15 prominent individuals and organizations will be recognized for their outstanding contribution to public life at the Parade of Uniformed Groups on November 3rd this year. Each year on November 3rd, the Meritorious Service Award is presented by the country's head of state to persons who have rendered commendable service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. This year, the Cicero Award of Honor, Dominica's second highest award, will be bestowed on two individuals. Mr. Leo Nicholas will be awarded for his work in the area of trade union leadership, while Mr. George Royer will be recognized for his contributions in the field of public service. The third highest honor, the Meritorious Service Award, will be conferred on Bishop Michael Daniel for his service in the pastoral ministry, Mr. Clement Carty for his service in the cooperative management sector, Mr. Fred Nicholas for music, Mr. Stevenson Hyacinth for drama, Volunteer Optometric Services to Humanity or VOSH Mission for Eye and Vision Care, the Dominica Association of St. Thomas Incorporated for community service, and Mr. Rawlings Jemot for trade union leadership. The Services Medal of Honor will be given to Renata Sigenthaler for community service, Mr. Algernon Fingal for business, Mr. Austin Harris for fisheries, and Mr. Harold Seeley for poetry and drama. Long Service Medals of Honor will be conferred on Ms. Joan James for her work in health and Mr. Peterson Austri for his work in education. This year's Parade of Uniformed Groups, to be held at the Windsor Park Stadium, will begin at 8 a.m.
The Dominica Association of St. Thomas Incorporated, which is a representative body of Dominicans resident in St. Thomas, has received high praise from Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. The association, which has been making a valid contribution in promoting Dominica in St. Thomas over the years, will on November 3rd receive the country's third highest honor, the Meritorious Service Award. Prime Minister Skerrit told overseas-based nationals on Wednesday that this group has proven to be a prominent organization which has Dominica's national interest at heart.
What struck me about this group in St. Thomas is that it is not only a representative body of Dominicans living in St. Thomas and promoting what is Dominica in St. Thomas, but it has caused itself to be a very respected organization politically.
The Prime Minister says groups such as the Dominica Association of St. Thomas assist greatly in creating a sense of respect and recognition for positive programs and policies undertaken by the Labour Party government. The Prime Minister says this level of patriotism must be recognized.
I have always charged Caribbean citizens who live overseas, the thousands and millions of us, that we must not only be seen as people who can organize a good fete, but people who can organize themselves as a formidable economic and political organization that any candidate, whether in the United Kingdom, whether in the United States, wherever, must take due notice of us, because we can make a difference in determining who becomes president or who becomes prime minister or who becomes governor or senator in any state. And unless we do that, we will see international governments taking decisions which will have a devastating effect on our economies. Because this country, Dominica, is a very small, vulnerable, open economy. So while the government may have the best and most progressive fiscal policies in place, but there are actions which can be taken out of Dominica, which can negate all the positive benefits that you and progress you have made as a result of actions taken by international governments. And I could speak to a number of such instances, but you know them as well as I do. So it's important that we as Dominicans and Caribbean citizens, we organize ourselves to create that kind of respect and recognition.
The Prime Minister took time to reflect on the many Dominicans who continue to make Dominica proud in the regional and international arena.
Dominicans have been making a name for themselves for a very long time. And I believe that we must pause as a nation and to reflect on these people who have made a name for themselves and celebrate those instances. Too often we pay very little or no attention to people who have distinguished themselves, Dominicans who have distinguished themselves in various parts of the world.
The Prime Minister, in his remarks, referred to the achievements of the newly appointed Director General of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Etienne, as well as Secretary General of CARICOM, Owen Larocque. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has also told overseas-based nationals that, notwithstanding the ongoing global economic and financial crisis, Dominica continues to hold its own due to the prudent fiscal management exercised by his government. He says while the country's revenue has dropped, the country has made commendable progress due to assistance received from friendly countries.
Thank God, here in Dominica, while we have been affected somewhat by the crisis, we are holding our own. We are holding our own because of the prudent and responsible management of the fiscal situation in Dominica and of the assistance that we receive from our committed and loyal friends and partners of development. Because these countries which continue to assist us could say with good reason, look, Skerrit, Prime Minister, I mean, we promised you assistance here, but look, things are tight. We've been affected by this storm, and therefore we have to divert the resources. But because of a cemented and committed relationship, they're not only maintaining the promises made to us, but they're even making additional promises and providing additional assistance to us.
The Prime Minister, in a frank discussion with the overseas-based nationals, itemized some of the recent developments which have taken place on the island. The Prime Minister spoke of developments in the area of education, infrastructure, geothermal, among other sectors. And in the spirit of independence, the country's leader invited the overseas nationals to join hands in Dominica's development.
You have an opportunity to join hands with Dominica. I'm not asking you to join hands with my party, I'm asking you to join hands with Dominica. Because this party, which I have the honor to lead, was in opposition for 20 years. But there was still a Dominica. The present opposition is in opposition for about 15 years and maybe some more, I don't know. But we still have a Dominica. We still have a Dominica to run. Before me, there were 6 prime ministers, and after me, there will be many. And I see some grace coming here and there, and I'm not sure how long I'm in this for. But there will always be a Dominica. There will always be a place that you will call your home. And the question I want to pose to you is, what kind of Dominica you want to have? And a follow-up question is, what am I going to do to create that kind of Dominica that I want for myself?
GIS News will bring you more on the Prime Minister's address in Thursday's newscast.
At the recent Market Day with a Difference, Honorable Alvin Bernard, who was acting trade minister, announced that the national export strategy is set to boost Dominica's agricultural sector and help the island to compete with regional exporters.
The national export strategy, which is being administered by the National Export Council Secretariat and executed by Dexia, will enable Dominica to effectively respond to regional and international opportunities for export of goods and services. In that regard, we must bear in mind emerging opportunities from the CARICOM Single Market and Economy and the OECS Economic Union. The objective of the NES is a diversified and competitive export sector driven by innovation and entrepreneurship to produce high-value goods and services for sustained improvements in the standard of living of all Dominicans.
In other news, a national physical development plan and land use policy is in the developmental stage with help from the Canadian Institute of Planners. Annie Edwards is acting chief physical planner. She explains the purpose of the development plan and land use policy.
It's important for this plan to be done at this time because we have a number of issues, conflicting land use issues like agricultural land being converted to tourism, residential, and also the funds are being provided from climate change funds. So we have to look at the location of communities. There are a lot of communities located in vulnerable areas like in ravines, on the coastline, which is vulnerable to sea surge. And, we need, as a country, to look at how we proceed with the development of the country over the next 20 years.
Michel Fromovich works with the Canadian Institute of Planners. He stated that the volunteers are part of a program to lend help to Caribbean islands planning divisions and to give recent graduates some experience.
I have been responsible for the last 15 years working with the Canadian Institute of Planners, which is a national professional association in Canada. And I have developed and then lead projects that involve partnerships with the Caribbean in particular, and a program that sends young professionals, recent graduates of university programs in planning, sends them overseas for 6 months to support host organizations like the Physical Planning Division.
The 3 volunteers are Andrew Hook, Charlotte Sukuman, and Michael Fedak. Hook's job is to assemble developmental proposals for Roseau.
I'm just working here in Dominica with the Canadian Institute of Planners, working on a plan document for Roseau. I'm going to be compiling all the different proposals that have been going on around the city into one document to make it comprehensive and easy for people to read, and also creating maps to make the document more visual and legible.
Charlotte Sukuman is responsible for the town of Portsmouth.
So I'm looking at the Portsmouth area. There's a lot of development going on up there, so we have been reviewing a planning report put together by a Citizens Commission a few years ago. We're reviewing it and trying to see how we can turn those concerns into policies through a land use plan.
Michael Fedak is the project's map maker.
I am the GIS specialist, Geographic Information Specialist. So there is a lot of data in Dominica already for mapping. Some of it is on paper, some of it is in databases around the country on computers. And in order to make any kind of land use plan, you have to know what is on the ground. And what I am supposed to be doing is bringing together all the different layers of information so that we can use that to make our national, or make Dominica's national land use plan.
The National Physical Development Plan and Land Use Policy is being funded by the Caribbean Development Bank. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, te chef cabinet qui joint et puis Dominicien l'autre pays qui a visité. Il était tenu en cérémonie où la ministre Commodity et puis Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, a adressé ces Dominiciens là, bagay ka concerne pays là. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt aussi parlé en détail de ces Dominiciens là, bagay développement qui a pris place et puis plan pour aller devant.
Aujourd'hui, à plaisir pour nous, un meeting là et puis là nous parler pour nous dire ça nous a fait pour Dominique, nous dire ça nous a fait à gouvernement avec nous parler pour venir et puis nous pour travailler pour pousser Dominique pour lever Dominique. Tout ça nous dire nous toujours attendre comme si Dominique 10, Dominique 4, Dominique mal, nous ta gouvernement. Mais là il fini Dominique et puis ça qui a fait à Dominique ça c'est mon là qui parler c'est l'autre monde là qui a toujours critiquer Dominique. Avec aujourd'hui nous prenons toutes ces idées là. Nous pas dire nous pas faire mistake, nous savons nous prenons toutes nous pas faire. Nous pas try. Avec ça nous dit monde qui bien sérieux contre Dominique. Venir et puis gouvernement ça. Travail pour lever Dominique parce que Dominique c'est pas pour moi tout ça. Dominique c'est pour tout le monde qui quitte Dominique. Et bien il y a des gens là qui ont arrivé à Dominique pour National Day comme c'est de novembre, 3 novembre qui passé. C'est toujours regarder comme c'est ça Dominique nous peut offrir. Et bien là il y a actuellement il y a pas regarder quoi regarder chimère, regarder qualité pas nous pas mettre côté là mais pour côté because on est venir pour damager toutes ces chimères là pour travailler pour mon l'école pour les jeunes nous fait actuellement pour State House nous fait pour lever Dominique. Et puis il y a bien content ça nous fait tout ça tout bail ouais actuellement à l'autre pays à tout on la tête mais nous quand à Dominique nous quand chercher fort et bien nous quand faire ça nous ça fait gouvernement a pousser ce produit. So moi quand des audiens nous bien content nous joindre puis tout ces monde Dominique qui est à l'autre pays la diaspora avec nous content pour nous parler ça fait.
En même temps aussi, le gouvernement a visé ces Dominicains là pour prendre l'avantage, opportunité, investissement en pays là.
Nous avons dit tout, parler pour tous ces investisseurs, nous avons Dominica State Bank, National Bank, Eat Bank, Dominican Social Security, nous parlons de Bello, nous parlons de Invest Dominica Authority, DDA, toutes ces qualités d'organisation comme ça. Nous parlons pour nous, ça nous a fait Dominique. Toutes les pima, ça c'est sauce pima, tout ce qualités de ça, caco, c'est qualité de produits, je sais pour notre Dominique et pour mener à l'autre pays pour faire un petit market, nous savons pas parlement, nous parlons de initiative export Dominique. Et c'est tout ces bails qui aident pour faire bien pour Dominique. So, on peut porter aujourd'hui.
En d'autres nouvelles, chef officier paro électé Dr. Carissa Etienne, qui a fait parole qui Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, travaille bien ouais fait taper appointement en FI. Dr. Etienne électé comme chef paro en septembre l'année là.
C'est gouvernement Pan American Health Organization yo voté pour moi faire directeur de Pan American Health Organization. Si on gagne honneur pour Dominique parce que c'est grand pays et pays riche qui s'est tapé ces places là. Mais nous travaillons fort politique là. Prime Minister Skerritt bon ainsi politique là. Moi c'est un bon candidat donc nous ça amassé 20 votes là qui nous besoin pour gagner.
Et puis finalement, l'association Nos Dominique continue et puis activité qu'on a célébré 50 anniversaire ailleurs. Et on ces activités là qui ont spectacle qui prend place en Goodwill Parish Hall, c'est le chef département santé State College Dominique, Nos Dennis Edwards.
Mercredi, à ce là nous avons un corps theater, nous avons un play Lionheart Sister Cotton Nos Dominique et puis Nos nous-mêmes qui a movie ça là c'est à Goodwill Parish Hall, hot 7h30. Anik $10 pour moun vini voir un bon movie. Jeudi à soir, nous ni ghost ceremony pour ba moun nos nou même moun ki te à l'école nous pour dire nous kota sa yo fait pour non nous yo fait nous ça nous y jodi là nous ke aussi ba award à différents institutions différents groupes moun qui aident nous para se sekat l'année ça là c'est un manière pour nous dire merci et puis nous kota yo se pat de l'école nous et puis vadouedi nous aller makoucherie pour nous amuser quand nous jouer et puis joindre nous pas te connaître c'est ça qui était l'autre c'est ça qui était aller l'école et puis nous ni bosta à makoucherie.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Qu'à souhaiter tout le monde en bonne saison indépendant. Au revoir.
Hello, I'm Felix Anderson. Good afternoon, and I'm here to tell you why it's better to buy your bag bread looking like this and not like Jabasak, a pig in a book, a cat in a bag. Come on, if it's bagged, it's got to be tagged. Let me show you what I mean. Excuse me, ma'am. You know if that bread is fresh?
Of course it's fresh. I buy it every day.
But you sure it's fresh?
You're not fresh. Excuse me.
But look at, if it's bagged, it's got to be tagged. Bakers, consumers, and retailers, please ensure that all your bagged bakery products clearly display brand name, product name, batch number, net contents, country of origin, list of ingredients, expiry date, identification code, and other important information about the product. Check the Dominica Bureau of Standards for details. So, am I right or am I right?
In today's tip, we'll share with you 2 keys to a successful life. For starters, you can't succeed alone. Every story of success is a story of people working together, each contributing their own unique talents, skill sets, and abilities. Do what you do best and let others fill in the gaps.
And secondly, perseverance always wins. You can't fail if you don't quit. Find other ways to make it work. As long as you persevere, whatever it is will be for you. As Winston Churchill said in Britain's darkest hour, never, never, never give up.
And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you could visit our website at news.gov.dm.
Or you could visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Fontaine. Thanks for watching.